see Joachim. Joachim, it's looking pretty good actually.
So yeah, I started making a vista. This would be the starting point of our heroes. They wake up around this this little fire. They sleep here. So I can modify the terrain. So I just made one part. So you see, this is the terrain with no atmosphere, and a lot of the atmosphere comes from adding the fog and all the other stuff. So you can have like default would be like snowy, and then if the sun would shine, it would be sunny. This would be the sunny setting. Okay. So what I do first, I block out the terrain. So I try to find out how the heroes will go through the land and where the bridges are supposed to be. So there's going to be a bridge here later. And then they travel up through the mountains up to the castle I will invent later.
You're going to make a castle?
Yeah.
In the hour that we have here today?
Yeah, well, I might take a shortcut, but at least I have a vista already. So.
You do have a vista indeed. I mean, it remains impressive to see you in action with that thing. Too impressive, because he was making all of these levels, and then we had to fill all of them up with content, and that was sometimes a little bit more complicated. Alright, we're going to jump back to the game, and in the meantime answer some... Well, actually we're going to watch Joachim for a second. Okay, we'll watch Joachim for a second and I'll answer some more questions. What's going on? Well, yeah, I mean, I'll answer a few more questions, and you're what? I go to full screen, I go to fake screen. Full screen again, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, okay, next. Yo is on screen, that's excellent, because then people can see that he's actually doing it and it's not just like preloading levels and doing stuff like that. Alright, let me go to the next question. Guys, you have so many questions today. Let me see. Where are you? Question, is Cecile Alarov? Oh my god, somebody asked that question. I always wondered if somebody was going to ask that question. If not, then how close is Alarov to Cecile? Is Jake and Esmeralda the same Jake and Esmeralda that is in Alarov's graveyard? I will not answer that. What about localizations available at release? Russian, Polish, French, German and English are all scheduled to be ready at release. So I guess you will see those languages, though maybe one language might be a day late or something. When will you do the next Kickstarter? You know what? We're going to finish this game, we're going to release it, and then we're going to really take a long holiday. We've worked very hard. You guys pushed us forward much further than we expected to be pushed forward, so we have a life to get back, and then we will see what our next steps are going to be. Will we be able to play the complete storyline in cooperation? Yes, of course. I know, I had that question already. So much you have to stick to the program, man. How many maps at release? I believe, Joachim, it is 10. Is that correct?
10 huge levels.
10 huge levels, yes. So he's talking Cecile huge, although it's not that, not all of them are as dense as Cecile, of course.
There's 3 of them, I think.
Three really dense ones?
3 or 4 Cecile big.
3 or 4 Cecile big, there you have it. From the man who made them. And then you have dungeons and things under that, I guess, right? That's the other things. Like Shelter Plane is actually also variations in rooms and stuff like that. Alright, so what else do I have? Will there be, how many companions will be in the final game? Ha! That might be one of the things that we'll have to patch in, because we didn't, we have stuff, but not all of it is ready as we wanted it to be. Will there be a Divinity game in the future like Divinity 2 with roleplay, gameplay and story? Oh, I think that we made a game with a lot of roleplay here. Do you ship physical goods from Belgium or USA? Just asking because of customs. Goods are being shipped from Belgium, actually. Do you plan on making deal? Well, we had that. Can the player have a romance? Not really. It's not a BioWare type of game. So we're going to have writing in their language and voice in English at the same time. Can we deactivate it? Yes, of course you can. When is the creator going to? Well, that's the editor. We answered that already. So that's going to be around release. You should get your producer to copy paste the questions to your screen. That's what he's doing, but he's not very good at it. And now he like completely ruined it. Now I can't see anything anymore, so I'm going to continue playing. Guys, you don't have the material. We have to work here at Larian sometimes. All right, let's go. And so Loic told us that it is okay to go do the ritual. He warned us that the journey there is very dangerous, and so we're going to start on that journey. So I am journeying. In the meantime, ignoring, like I see a secret there already, but I'm not going to show it. I get an autosave. Whenever you get an autosave, you know trouble is ahead. In this particular case, trouble is going to take the shape. Oh, look at that! It's a little bird nest. Trouble is going to take the shape of a couple of Immaculates who are actually going to let us through. So, oh, I thought... Ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to do with this man? I have to show him to you one day. Oh, you have to do two things at the same time, I know. Alright, and now you go to Joachim now? Yeah. You're a hunter. And do I want to keep my display settings? Okay. So, I'll answer more questions. Will we be able to cheat just like you? No, you're not going to be able to cheat just like me. That would spoil all the fun. However, once we are going to make available the editor, obviously we're going to make you versions of the game that you don't have to play through your entire mod all the time when developing it. So you will have a special version which allows you to do all the funky things and what have you. Where is the other question? Any chance of being able to use the right control key for forcing attacks by release, you know, for the horrible left-handed people in the world? I know that's on our list, and I actually don't know why that's not done yet. So probably that is just because our lists are long, and we have a lot of requests for improvements. We prioritize them, and probably it's somewhere in there. It's going to be on UI priority, and I'll find out for you. Yeah, because it's true, it should be done. Any plans for an expansion? As I mentioned, we'll go on a holiday first. Will you invite Weresheep again to the release party of DOS? Well, definitely we're going to have a few of them, because we had backers who backed us on Kickstarter and who are entitled to being invited to the release party. And we will see. We still have to actually plan the release party. We've been so busy that we didn't even have time for that, but it'll be legendary for sure. Will there be armor and weapon sets? We didn't put in the sets yet, but that's something that's easily added with the modding tool. Will we see you on Facts again this year? I don't know that yet. Will my GOG key be on the Larian site on June 30th? It should be. Show us a high-level battle, Sven. Unfortunately, my save games are not going to let me into a really high-level battle here. Let me see if I can get myself into real trouble yet. Well, I'm not going to improvise too much here. If somebody wants to make a 4-player module, how does the discussion feature work for 4 people? Well, you could deactivate it, and 4-player dialogue is pretty complicated. So if you do that, then you would probably have to come up with another mechanic for handling it, because the co-op rock, paper, scissors here is only for the 2 players. What will the Kickstarter potion and Zandalor's epic trunks of intelligence actually do in-game? I'll keep that as a surprise. I think they're rather cool. How's Trill doing these days? Is he better? Yes, he's doing better. He is not ready yet to jump back to work, but he is definitely doing better. Where can I find companions when it's out of the party? You will have your henchmen active on release. So all the Kickstarter backers' henchmen are in there also. And the Excel files which they have to fill in should have been gone out or are going out now approximately, in which they can fill in what they want. Where is the quick bar slot amount already firmly set and balanced? Yeah, we're not going to change that now anymore. I know that people always want more of those, but it's sufficient for us to finish the game with, and of course we can keep on making improvements. But right now that's going to be it. Would you consider implementing an orthographic camera perspective through isometric? I'll let you do that. You can easily, you've seen that we added the top-down camera, so once the modding tools are getting bigger and bigger, you can set camera perspective as you want. Basically the way that Joachim is using his camera is something that you can modify, and there's plenty of parameters that you can change. Will you add a French version? The French version will be ready on the release. Can you tell us who localized the game for you? It's different people, and they're all people, I think. Let me see, am I making any mistake? These are all companies with whom we worked with in the past, so it's pretty much the same people that have been localizing our previous games. Can you tell us who localized it? No. So do you have some voice sample we could listen to? I actually deleted them just before starting up the streams, so because they were interfering with my voice all the time. So no, I'm afraid not. How will line of sight work in the end? Will crates block line of sight again? I believe that they block line of sight right now. So let's find out. Thomas, I will show you a little bit more content here before I jump to another part of the world. And I need to do that fake full screen thing again. Alright. I have no clue. I forgot where I was. Video. I am in fake full screens. We're on Joachim. Joachim, how's it going?
It's going very well. I already created the starting zone, and then you can go off and explore the side of the mountains, and then there's a bridge you can cross.
Cool.
And then into the castle area with the heroes.
Jesus, man. Alright.
But it's just something I really come up really quickly. It's not really designed or anything, but
well, I mean,
it gives you an idea of what
I know some games that ship like that. That's pretty cool. I'll do some questions. I'll let you go on a little bit, and then we'll see about if we. What time is it? 9 o'clock. Here in Belgium. So we're going to see about publishing it to Steam Workshop. In the meantime, I'll answer more questions. So, will you be fixing the way Rain works? I have absolutely no clue what's wrong with Rain. It might be that there's a bug that is known, but I do not know the bug database by heart. Is there anything wrong with Rain? Because I used it quite a lot actually, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. The game seems to be very magic oriented. Which class was the most difficult to balance? I guess the fighters like the knight or the fighter. That is a hard question because there's been so much balancing going on and so much changes and improvements and modifications. By now it feels pretty balanced because no matter which build you take, you manage to get to the ending of the game, which is the goal. Pretty sure that after release we will be still making modifications based on what we're seeing in people, but I think that you can have a good time now playing through the game and fighting the denizens and in some cases the citizens of Andevale. Small life question. Could you choose a different language on Steam but the game is in English? That's possible that you're starting to see localization files because we are in the final phases of localization. We have French, Polish versions running, German versions running. So it could be that some files sneaked through in that update that we did last night. How necessary is lockpicking? It's not necessary at all. It's just one of the ways that you can play the game. Like pickpocketing, like murdering people, like charisma. You could try to charm, intimidate, reason yourself through everything. Let me show you an example of what happens to people who have bad charm, intimidate, reason. Can you jump to me again, Thomas, after I finish loading this game? So I'm going to do... oh, I forgot to go to Joachim. I guess so. It's the Twitch thing, right? Okay. So, where are we on the question? How does difficulty work? The game doesn't say. It just works by modifying some of the formulas right now and some of the constants which are used in the what we call level maps, which is pretty much the formulas which decide on all of the balancing. Well, there's no but right now because what we planned on doing is not going to happen. One of my favorite things in Morrowind was the museum with lore artifacts you could steal and put in your house. I have kept up with the dev of DS. Is there anything similar to this? Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can interact with any object that's in the game. You have your shelter plane. You have plenty of stuff that you can send there. You can decorate it. You could, of course, also murder somebody, take over their house, and put your stuff in there. I mean, feel free. Do we have a warship companion in the future? We promise there's a warship quest, and there is a warship quest. Okay, what else do we have? Will there be mounts in the game? A flying broom. If you are role-playing as a witch, that would be really cool, wouldn't it? No. But it would be really cool. The effects on Steam and Poison Cloud is not so nice compared to before patch. Will it be redesigned? It was made more clear because some people had a hard time finding out exactly until where the clothes went. So as a result of that, some of the fluffiness which was in the previous ones has been removed. Aesthetically, you can argue that it looks a little bit less nice, but we can maybe still improve on that. Don't think that's going to happen before release, but you never know. What programming languages will the level editor use? We have our own scripting languages. There's 2 of them. And if Joachim, well, I don't think that we're going to do it today because we're running out of time, but you will see. Yeah, so there's 2 scripting languages, one which is for the story scripting, the other for behavioral scripting, and both of them are very easy to learn and use, but very powerful because we made the entire game with them. Can we pay the difference for the collector's edition upgrade from basic backers? No, we would love to support that, but we're already swamped as is. There's so much logistics. We're a small team, you know. I mean, like there's 35 to 40 of us, and doing everything that we are doing as such a small team is, yeah, it is quite a challenge. Just look at us, and you will see that we're ready for a holiday. Ladell, what else? Will post-release save games be carried over through updates and patches? Yeah, we're going to maintain save game compatibility. I'm pretty sure that at some point there will be a number of changes that will not affect the save games, but will be present in new games, but we will not break your save games anymore once the game is live. It's going to cost extra logistics on our side and extra effort, so that's why we didn't do it during the early access campaign. Can you talk about the character progression? I'm interested in some D&D like. Character progression, well, you're seeing the character system that's there. So we have, everything is laid bare basically. There are some abilities that are unlocked as you progress through the game. There's, I think there's something like 120 skills or so, but I don't know the exact number, so don't quote me on it, but it's quite big. There's plenty of weaponry. You have new types of weaponry that unlock as you progress, and so I think you can develop your characters in quite diverse ways, to be honest. More diverse actually than I thought when we started making them. Alright, so have you guys thought of LMK remake? Okay, that would be cool. Would actually work well because the LMK concept was very close to the original Sin concept, although I don't think we could have made the game that we made here back then. Bring reason and intimidate the same output as charming. So the question is if reason, intimidate and charming have the same output. It really depends on what the situation is. They have a context bonus, and other than that we've relayed everything to a single stat, which is charisma. So if you pump a lot of points in charisma, you definitely have the upper edge when doing dialogues. If you then also figure out what the context bonus is per dialogue, then in general you should win at your RPS gameplay. Obviously there's also luck, so maybe you can tweak luck a little bit. Do you get more powerful spells or abilities as you go along? Is there a leveling system or is it equipment based? Do you get more powerful? Yes, of course you get more powerful spells and abilities. There is a leveling system, so you level up, and as you level up you can put points into your primary stats, your abilities, and occasionally your talents. How does aging work in Revelon? We have instances where characters are alive for thousands of years. Using Max as an example, he was alive in 8,800, over 10,000 years before Divine Divinity. He was old at that time, which hints that he's way older than that. Yes, our mages are, and elves are in typical fantasy style very long-lived. We have a couple of other races that are long-lived. It's true that we didn't really explain that well in the lore, so we should do that one day. Will there be a level cap? There is one actually. There is a level cap at 20, although the game does allow you to go further than that, but everything is balanced around that, and we're going to keep it there because that's sufficient to play your main campaign. The leveling is slower as you progress through the rest of the game, and you're getting, we probably in the early access campaign overdid a little bit at the speed at which you leveled, so you'll see that tempered a little bit. How are the in-game Kickstarter rewards acquired? I kickstarted at a lower tier and bought the collector's box edition too. I don't really understand the question. If you kickstarted, you got your Kickstarter rewards, which was specified at a tier. And if you bought the collector's box edition, that has its own rewards in there, but the two are not linked to one another, I'm afraid. We wouldn't have a system for doing that. What's my favorite game? It would be... I tend to change from time to time, but I would say it's one of the Ultima 7s or Underworlds. That is going to be... And StarCraft is up there also, for sure. But it's definitely one of the Ultimas. Is there a way to switch into turn-based mode like in real time? We couldn't do that. We know that there were requests for that. We also thought it was sensible because we know why you're asking, but we couldn't do that. It would have caused too much re-engineering, so we didn't want to do that. Is there a way? Is the game end after the credits? There's a game end, so I didn't get the question there. Will you ever add dual wield? Not right now. Who knows? Maybe what I don't know what's going to happen in the future, where it's going to be dependent on how successful this game is. And if this turns out to be successful, for sure we will add upon it because we would very much like to also, because it's one of our, I think it's probably the best RPG that we've made so far, in my opinion. And I really like the question, what is my favorite way to play the game? But I'll keep it as the last question, I guess. Do characters exist purely in saves, or are there individual files? They exist purely in saves. I know why that is being asked. That is future talk. To be sure about the ending question, can you still freely roam in the world and complete side quests after you completed the main storyline? You will know exactly when the game ends, and as long as you don't enter there, you can roam as you want. Once you've ended it, you can't go back, because that would have added that much permutations again, and we didn't want to do all of those permutations. Alright, Joachim, how's it going?
Well, I'm changing the theme a little,
Yes.
running out of ideas for the moment. So now we're going into so we started up here, and this is the inside of the castle. It's a bit rough. And then you go up to the lava pit. So you have a lot of light stuff you can use, like shadows and yeah. So now I'm gonna add a lava fountain.
Yeah, definitely making progress. Okay. Alright. So I'll let Joachim finish on his lava, answer a few more questions, and then that's going to be it for us for today. We planned on 1 hour. It's going to be 1 hour and a half. We need to get back to the game, actually, to developing. So let's see. Last questions. Do you plan on making Divinity games, or do you plan on tackling other IPs as well? I actually contacted somebody from a famous IP, but they didn't answer my mail. So, too bad for them, I guess. If the game is successful, will you finish adding voice acting to all the rest of the NPCs, or will you focus on other areas of the game, such as, for example, the dual-wielding mafia, to be put together with the other types of mafias? I really don't know. I guess that we know pretty much what you guys want, and we'll see if it's successful, and then when it's successful, we'll look at what you want, we'll ask you once again what you want, and then we'll probably focus on that. But right now, I think that for the budget that we have, for the team that we had, we made an incredibly expansive RPG in which you can really do a lot. I think that this is one of the RPGs where you can do the most in a long time, at least in this way. And I can't think of another RPG in which you can play cooperatively the way that you can do in this one. So I think that we already did sufficient for one release, and we could keep on developing. And I know there's a lot of desires for us to keep on developing, but at some point we have to release it. So once it's released, we will see how it goes. If it goes well, and if we have some success with it, you can be rest assured that there will be extensions, and that will support the hell out of it. Would you like to see Divinity novels one day? I have actually several Divinity novels over here, and they definitely are, some of them merit being told as a real novel. What is with the Dragon Commander board game? Do I still plan to release it on one day? I hope so. I really hope so. But have you considered? Oh my god. Alright, it doesn't stop with the questions, so I'm going to end it by answering, we're first going to go back to Joachim. We are on Joachim, right? And Joachim, why don't you publish your game? Maybe first show people that you can actually walk around in your game.
Can you?
Maybe. Yeah, if you press the smiley face.
Yeah, wait.
I hope you have a character. I guess
But for some reason they have a bad color, but you can walk around.
So one of the features of the editor is that you can switch between game and editor mode at any time. And they gave Joachim, I think, the equivalent of a German keyboard. So
it's a bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's now walking around in his level. It's not finished for sure, but I mean, you saw what he was making as we were playing through the game. He's using his console, the same console that I was using for cheating all the time. And so there you have it. He's walking around in this little piece of winter landscape. And he made in an hour, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, an hour and 20 minutes, so that's not bad at all. And with the stress of doing it on one screen, which is in a too low resolution because of the Twitch stream, normally Joachim works with 2 screens at least. You can drag your windows all over the place and then make your stuff a lot easier. And why don't we publish it to Steam?
So it's easy, I just press publish module.
Is it private? Yeah. You give a nice description to it. Alright.
And I publish it, and
then it's stacked, and now it's on Steam. And so this is the Steam Workshop interface, and I think you need to refresh. It's not going to happen just like that. So if you click on Workshop items, or go to videos and then go back to Workshop items, then to Workshop items. There you go, Frozen Lands. And now I could just subscribe to Joachim's mod and play Frozen Lands, yeah, which one day is going to become a true mod, I guess.
it will.
But we would have to add some scripting to it, and that's going to be the topic of another stream for sure, which is going to come closely to us releasing the editor. That's going to be it for us today. Thank you, Joachim, for showing off the
Editor.
the editor, yes, the Divinity Engine editor. Original Sin is coming to you guys in 13 days. 13 days we're going to release all of the extra content that we've been hiding from you for so long. We're still hard at work fixing bugs and polishing things so that everything is shiny when it gets into your hands. You're going to have voice recordings in there. They sound cool. They add a lot to the game. You're going to have fully remastered soundtracks. You're going to have plenty of extra sounds which you haven't heard yet, which make the game sound that much better. There's still some features that you haven't seen which are going to be in there, so it is a mammoth of a game. It's an epic RPG, just like the game that we set out to make. There might be little things in there, here and there, that are not in, that we plan to be in, so we'll add them after release. But in general, I think you are going to find it an enjoyable experience. In any case, I enjoyed playing it. And so to answer the question, how do I play my game? Well, I try to beat the systems all the time. So I know what the intention was of the designer, so I try to bypass it. And that's how I encounter plenty of new adventures, and it is a lot of fun. And the thing that I like the most is playing it in co-op with somebody. I played yesterday with somebody who was in Virginia, and we had barely started, and she started murdering everything, and that was because she thought that random murder was fun. And so I was saying, well, okay, well, that's why we put the feature in there that you could kill anybody and still finish the game. So there was still an adventure to be had, though it wouldn't have been the adventure that I would have preferred, and I would probably have had to, like, once she was in jail, leave her there. So I would have probably had to gotten her to talk. I would wanted to have talked her into jail and so forth. So that's the way that I would like playing my game. The thing I'm looking forward to most is the things that your guys are going to make using the editor. I'm really looking forward to playing some of your adventures in co-op with my friends and family. So that's going to be it for us today. Thank you for watching our stream. Please, if you have suggestions, send them to us on our forums. We're still reading it. It's not because when we release the game that we're going to stop working on the game. This is an engine in which we put a lot of effort, and we're going to continue to put a lot of effort into it. And if you like the game, please tell your friends that it's a good idea to buy it so that you can play it together with them, because that's what sustains us and allows us to make more of what you've been playing. All right, take care, everybody. Thank you, and we'll see you soon enough as we start our final offensive for promoting the game somewhere next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Alright, well, thank you, Thomas. Alright, so resolution swapping is still unstable and fake full screen thing. Alright, let me go back to my autosave and gets continued. You can go back to me now, eh? I have to still do things, so you shouldn't go back to me yet. So apologies for that. I'll answer some questions in the meantime as we're setting everything up again. Where is the other question work? Okay. Will there be another fan day? Probably in the future. We had a lot of fun when we did the last fan day. I hope everybody who came also had a lot of fun. We'll be able to complete... I keep on getting the same questions here. The differences between Steam and GOG. So on Steam, you're going to have full workshop integration, and you're going to have friends list, and you're going to have the matchmaking and so forth. GOG obviously announced their Galaxy, and we are looking at that, and so I think that we'll have things to say about that next week. The holding hands while moving, that I don't get it. I guess that somebody wants us to put hands holding in there while you're moving. And then, did you consider Divine Divinity port in DOS engine as a DLC? Yes, for sure we considered it, but we even made a small demo of it actually, because we did that during the Kickstarter campaign. We showed that during the Kickstarter campaign. All right, Thomas, can you go back to my screen so I can continue? No, I didn't do the fake full screen. God. I am on the full screen, jumping to the fake full screen, and do you want to keep display settings? Yes, accept. Alright,